Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to look at how to filter record with multiple condition. In the last tutorial we started looking at this and we used or. We also used in and not in for filtering records with multiple condition. But in today's tutorial we're going to be looking at how to use and, okay, to filter records. So why would you even want to filter a record with a multiple condition? It all depends on the requirement. So let's say I get a requirement that says give me the names, department, gender, and salary of employees. Okay, who who earn between 100K and 150K. So this is a requirement. So what can we do about this requirement? So you can see that we have more than one condition. Okay, these are the columns that the business wants to see: the name, the department, the gender, and the salary. But look at the condition of employees who earn between 100K and 150K and work, or let's say uh, of the names, department, gender, and salary of employees who earn between 100K and 150K and work in clothing, that is clothing department. Okay, so here you can see that we have more than one condition. So they want to see those employees earning between this range. That's one condition. Another condition is they have to be working in clothing departments. So we have two conditions. One has to do with salary, and the other one has to do with department. So how do we do this? Okay. So the first thing you want to do is understanding your requirements. So from these requirements, I can figure out what columns to display in my report. So names, of course, I know we have. If I do select star, just for us to see what we have in the table, because we will always have to do something like this to see your table. Okay, especially when you're working on a table that you don't really know. So if we do select star from our table employees, so and I run this. Okay, so we can see all the columns. So the report should have name column. Okay, so I can say, let me make some space here. So I can say select star from employees. What are the columns? We don't want star, we don't want all the columns, we only want some. So say we want first name, so we say select first name, department. Those are the columns we have in the requirement. Gender, salary. So we want these columns: first name, last name, gender, salary from employee. Excuse me. And so what are the conditions we have? Excuse me. So what are the conditions we have? Where the first condition says where salary between 100K and 150K. So I say where salary between and 150K. That's the first condition. Now I have another condition. The department has to be clothing. So we only want to see those employees working in clothing department earning salary between 100K and 150K. So I use hand again and say, and department equals clothing. So this is what I have. Select first name, department, gender, salary, because these are the required columns. From employees, where salary between 100,000 and 150,000. And another condition, and department equals clothing. Okay, so if you want, you can put this on maybe different line. You can make space if you want. So now let's run from this up to here. Okay, I'm not going to run the last condition, which is clothing. So let's count the number of records we're going to get if I run from select, first name, department, gender, salary, from employees, where salary between 100,000 and 150. That's the first condition. So let's run and see. Now we are now filtering with the second condition, which says department equals clothing. So let's run. I have 298 employees. They earn between 100K and 150. How do I validate this? If I come to the salary column, I shouldn't see anything less than 100. I should not see, if I go through this, I'm not going to see anything. If you look at the salary column, you're not going to see anything less than 100, and you're not going to see anything higher than 150. Okay, so that's the first condition. Now with the second condition, it says and department equals clothing. So we only want to see those employees working in clothing department and hence salary between 100,000 and 150. So let's see what we have. Let's see how many employees fall into that category. Now we have 8 rows affected. So we only have 8 employees that meet that. How do we validate this? They all work in clothing. You see, all I have is clothing. And the salary is not less than 100K and is not more than 150. Okay, so this is a situation where you need to use two or more conditions. Before now, we've been looking at single condition, one condition. Okay, but we started looking at a situation where requirement demands that you use two or more conditions. And we started that with or. Now we're using hand. In the next tutorial, we're going to combine or and hand together and see how to use the two. So today, what I'm introducing to you is this hand, okay? And we can add to this requirement. What if out of this we only want to see the male, okay? Those employees that earn salary between 100K and 150K, they work in clothing department and they are all males. So we can change these requirements and say, give me the names, department, gender, and salary of male male employees. Okay. Now we are having a third filter, a third condition. So what can I do? It's easy. So I can still come down and say and gender equals male. So let's see how many records we have when I run this. Now we have 4 rows. So It means we only have 4 employees that work in clothing department, 4 male employees that work in clothing department and hence salary between 100K and 150K. So that's what we have. See, just 4. How do I validate this? All the columns have to meet this specified condition. They must all work in clothing department. These are all clothing. They must all be males. These are all males. The salary must be between 100 and 150. This is what we have. Can we change this to female? Let's say we want to see the females in this category. So all I need to do is change this to health and run. We have 4 females as well. How do I know? To validate this, I come to the gender column and all I have is F. Okay, so this is how to use hand to combine several conditions. So you want a condition from first column, you want another condition from second column, like that. So in the situation where you want to see, um, you are using different columns as condition. One thing I want to call your attention to is probably you're thinking maybe you could do something like where salary between 100K and 150 again and say where department equals clothing. Maybe that comes to your head that, okay, I keep saying where. No, this is not allowed. It's not going to run. So when you have multiple conditions, you have your where, which is just one, and you can use and or her depending on the requirement you have. So you can do this. It's not going to work. Let's run this and see what we have. You see, we have you have error, syntax error because of this where it says line 5. So you can't do this. You can't have that word twice because you have multiple conditions. So what you can do is to use and to combine, and we can keep combining these. We can keep saying and first name, can still say and first name equals something like that. We can keep going. Okay, so let me run this one more time and look for first name. Okay, so let's say now we have 4 rows. Let's say we only want to see this guy. Okay, so what we can do is to say our first name. So let's see what we have. Now we have one record. Now we have one record. Okay, so just understand the principle. Don't cram anything. Make sure you understand the requirement before you start writing your query. Okay, that's the best way to go about this. So before I end this um, tutorial session, let's quickly go over this line by line. Your select line is where you put the columns you want to see. So based on the requirement, what we are asked to do based on this requirement is to show the first name, the department, the gender, and salary, these 4 columns. If we also want to see all the columns, it's just for us to change this to star. So select star from employees, and that's going to show all the columns in the table. But that's not what the requirement says. We do what the requirement says. So just this first column, that's your first, the select line. Now, from where you are getting that from your table, employees. Okay, is there any condition attached to this? Yes, and that's where this comes in, the where. So the first condition says salary must be between 100K and 150K. The next condition says department must be equals to clothing. The last condition says gender must be female. Okay, so you see that this is just, it takes your critical thinking, your thought pattern, how you think through it. So it's not difficult. All you need to do is to maybe watch this video over and over again. Make sure you understand what exactly I'm trying to communicate, and it will stick to you. You only need to do it over and over again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.